Welcome to the Murfreesboro.com podcast, where we talk about all things Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Join host John I. Carey, his co-host Jonathan Harmon, and producer Trent Denson as they talk about all the great things happening in our city. From construction updates to local business spotlights to all the amazing events happening in our community. Listen in for all you need to know from Murfreesboro.com. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody. It's Jonathan Harmon and John I. Carey. I'm actually the co-host. He's the host of Murfreesboro.com podcast 2.0. He's letting me do the intro, and I've already screwed it up. So
no, not at all.
It's fantastic. Gotta love that. But we've got two awesome guests this morning from the Charlie and Hazel Daniels Veterans. It's a long title.
It is. You're doing well, though.
Okay, keep going.
Hold on, here's my cheat sheet.
The
right
Veterans
here.
and Military Family Center.
Veterans and Military Family Center.
The Daniels Center.
The Daniels Center. Why didn't you tell me that to start with? That would have been so much easier.
That's right.
But we got Dr. Hillary Miller and Mr. Chris Rochelle from over there. And the mission that you guys have is awesome. And we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But, John, how was your weekend, buddy?
Man, it was fun, actually. My neighborhood has like a contest for the fireworks each year, and they do not disappoint, let me tell you. The only bad thing is they go way into the night, and so you're trying to sleep, and you just hear boom, 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 boom with all the fireworks.
Yeah.
But, I live over in, Liberty Station area out there, but there's like three little neighborhoods in the neighborhood, and they all have contests to who was going to outdo the other, and man, they go all out.
I love that.
Oh,
It's like a rap battle only with fireworks.
Pretty much, yeah. Because
That's
you'll see one going off.
Did they drop the lighter?
Yeah. Done. Just walk away.
Any fires this weekend?
What's that?
Any fires?
No, thankfully every year they do pretty well, and actually we're usually a big part of it. This year I couldn't find any fireworks. I found one stand that had some fireworks left, and the guy had like tripled the prices on everything. I was just like, no,
Gotta love that.
not doing it. So.
Well, I went and checked out they moved the the Murfreesboro fireworks over to Fountains at Gateway area, and went and checked that out. And the show was fantastic. The parking situation,
Oh, I can imagine.
not so much. Yeah, so we got Murfreesboro. We got to work on that next year.
Yeah, we got tagged in a bunch of posts on Instagram with the fireworks, and it looked like quite the finale. Like the show looked pretty good.
It was a show. Yeah.
Shout out to those guys over at the Fountains.
Yep. Yeah. What about you guys? Did y'all have a good weekend? Did you celebrate?
We did. We didn't go anywhere. We just kind of watched from our house. I too was a little concerned about the Fountains parking and trying to get out. I mean,
there was
it's
no
bad.
parking. There were cars everywhere.
But that little bit is hard to get around on. When there isn't fireworks going on.
Yeah.
So we just watched from the house and just tried to be mindful that we get to live in this country and be appreciative of it.
Amen. Amen. Chris, what about you?
Same with us. We decided to stay at the house as well. And the reason why I asked about fires is,
Oh no,
we didn't have one, but our neighbor did.
Oh, no. The yard?
Yeah, his yard and table and quite a few things.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got it.
jeez.
Yeah, I grabbed a
Feel
fire
like-
extinguisher and ran next door, and we got it.
I was
that?
picturing Bucket Brigade,
right.
all the cartoons.
The funny thing is, I turned on the water hose, and that did not work.
Oh,
The water
no.
did not help the fire at all. It made it worse.
Leave it to a veteran. He's got a fire extinguisher.
Of course. Yes,
He's
always.
ready,
Keep one-handed.
Yeah,
I love that.
Have you seen that video going around? It says, "This is why you don't store fireworks in your hot garage." Have you seen that?
No.
It was like the day before the 4th, and this guy's, his poor house is destroyed. It was erupting fire, but the fireworks are just shooting out of his garage and stuff, and they're all blowing up. And
Do y'all remember probably
whoa.
a decade ago where the fireworks over there off of by church, by the Waffle House, that stand went
Yes.
up?
Yes,
and
I do remember that.
I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was like 4 or 5 years
that
ago.
wasn't too
It was
long
very
ago,
recent.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
it was the store, right?
Yeah, the
it was a
actual
store.
store.
Yeah.
Now I lived over in this house, and I've been gone from that for about 8 years. So
Okay,
It has been that long.
and
it was the one right by the interstate, right?
right by
Yeah.
the gas station.
Yes.
So it was very near. It could have been a lot worse.
Has it really been 8 or 10 years?
I thought it was more recent than that.
I
Well, there
did
might
too.
have. That may have been.
Chris, I think
number
we're all
one.
just old.
We've been here too long.
Yeah, that's
Now,
right.
is that one of those like double-edged swords or catch-22s, whatever you're watching? The poor building, and they lost the building. Of course, it's on fire, but you're like, look at the show.
I know, it was amazing. Actually, I think it was covered. My parents saw it. I live in Houston. I grew up in Houston, and they saw it, I think, on the news in Houston, and they were saying, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But does everything go up?
No, it went
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah,
Everything
shooting out
goes.
sideways, stuff blowing up. Yeah.
So, all right. So, great weekend, and you're absolutely right to just be mindful, and that's great segue. Brings us back to you guys and the center. But real quick before we do that, tell us a little bit about you. You grew up in Houston. You just said that.
Grew up in Houston. Came to school in Nashville for my doctorate at Vanderbilt. I was counting it today. It's been 24 years. So it's been.
You don't always have to disclose that.
It's just amazing to me. I love this place.
Are you even 24 years old?
I'll be 52 next week. So I mean, right? But here's the thing. Like, I came to this area from Austin, and it's very similar to Austin. And I'm not joking when I say the big difference is pork versus beef barbecue. I mean, and I'm a fan of both, so that wasn't a problem. But I fell in love with this area and stayed and have not. I mean, I miss my family, but just did not think I would be here, even though it was so similar to home. And I've been here for 24 years, and I only bring that up because it was a choice. A lot of people are born here, and they're lucky enough to be born here. But I chose it, and I've stayed, and I've enjoyed it all 24 years.
That's funny because I'm very similar with mine. When I was young, my dad had a job, moved us around a lot, and we used to live up north. Don't judge me, sorry. We lived in New York for several years.
Well, but you also lived in Alaska.
I was born in Alaska,
way up north.
Way up north, yeah. But that's why I'm practically albino.
Yeah.
I blend in with the snow.
But was your father military as well?
No, he worked for Goodyear stores, but he was like way up there, and they moved him around and stuff. And so, but we got the heads up that they're relocating to Nashville. And all I remember thinking was, country music capital of the world, great. Okay, but 2 weeks into it, I was like, I'm never leaving this place.
I'm down for this. This is great.
Been here ever since.
Right.
And that was over 2 decades ago. So.
Chris, what's your story?
Well, before we get to me, I do want to ask Dr. Miller a question. So, how did you actually begin the Veteran Center?
Oh, Chris.
That's a start of how she got here, because she's been at MTSU for a while.
For 20 years. But when my brother is still active duty, he's a lieutenant colonel in the Marines. He's infantry. Yep. And he's in Okinawa right now. And he had just commissioned, I think, or maybe it was right before he commissioned, 2004. And, we're in the heart of a war. And he was deploying, and I had worked on getting some helmet inserts, and I mean, if you remember the helmet insert, there was a lot of things going on, some changes with that. I mean, this was a different war than previous, and so the helmet was it was jarring, and this was a war of bombs, and and not bullets, and so I started working on some efforts in that direction, and MTSU is, I think they do this in all areas, but they definitely it's a school that has held to its military traditions from the very beginning.
For sure.
From the beginning. And so people, they don't realize how we were able to do what we do at a school like MTSU. It's because it's organic and it's foundational to taking care of their
It's
veterans.
in the culture.
It is.
Yeah.
And even in all of this community around us, I mean, it's just amazing. If we do something military, how people will jump to assist. But, I also think that MTSU really wants to support its faculty and staff in whatever endeavors they're interested in. Mine were military, and trying to make sure that I had gotten these helmet inserts to my brother. I raised some money for that, and then we just kind of kept going. And I won this award for my work outside of campus. That's what I mean, like MTSU recognizes people's community work, even though it's not necessarily what they're tasked to do at their job. And I felt like, gosh, MTSU gave me this ability to work here. Why are you giving me money? I'm going to put that right back into the university. And we have a beautiful Veterans Memorial that I feel like I'm so lucky to be a part of. If you've never been, it's the only one that I know of at a state school that's for veterans, for all wars, not of a specific war, but any. And sadly, we've had to, add a new name onto it recently for one of our students who fell in service. Yeah. But and so that's how I started working on all of these issues. And then we got it formalized with the center. General Huber was, a huge part of that. But that's how we got it going, and it's been for a long time. Nice. Now you got to go back to answer your question. You got to talk.
So technically, hers leads into mine. So while she was doing all that and working, I was in the service, and I went to Iraq from about 2002 to 2005. But once I got out of the service, I wanted to go back to school. So I transitioned from Army to National Guard and decided, hey, I want to go back to school. I wanted to go to Full Sail in Florida, and I couldn't afford it. So a friend said, hey, you ever heard of Middle Tennessee State University? And I said, I don't think so.
But you were from Florida, correct? I mean,
I'm from Arkansas.
Arkansas, right.
Arkansas.
You were not
I'm
from Tennessee.
Arkansas.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And like I said, after Iraq, there's nothing in Arkansas. I'm from Star City, Arkansas, and it's really nothing there. Family, I love them, but I wanted to get away. So I decided, let me take a look at MTSU, and I came here in 2005 and stayed.
There you go.
We left to go. My wife and I, we left to go to Florida State. She got her master's degree from there, and we said, let's go back. And once we came back, we both started working at MTSU.
There you go.
And
That's awesome.
One of the things I love about Chris, both he and his wife work there, so we kind of get 2 for 1. Like things that she knows about, she can send our direction as well. But he was a service member. All of our staff have some connectivity, either they served or their spouse or something. They're military connected. But he went through the process here at MTSU using GI Bill, so he can speak to that part of it and really help
Experience
the students.
matters. Yeah, for sure. And what does Mrs. Rochelle do at?
She is the outreach and support coordinator at the MT One Stop. So she assists with homelessness. She runs the food pantry. That she has
that's
a
wonderful.
ton of things under her belt.
Yeah, and is that
she's a great resource.
is that where the clothes closet is as well?
Well, actually, that one is in the KUC building under the Career Center.
Okay.
So they work,
Very
closely together. So that one's there, but then the food pantry is in the MT One Stop. So if a student ever needs, any type of food or assistance or anything like that, they can always just go over and grab a snack or grab actual meals. So they can leave with bags of food,
Like groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's a wonderful program. I love that.
It is. And that, man, this is what's amazing, that you can have a town of 150,000 people and a university that's like its own little town of 25,000 people, and people, they just don't know what's going on
exactly
in each of those places. You know what I mean?
Right.
Outside of their world. And gosh, there's so many good things going on in MTSU that
Agreed.
aren't in a classroom.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, even when I went to MTSU many moons ago, it was you learn about stuff after the fact. I was like, God, I wish I knew about this.
Right.
I would have gotten involved, or something at the time.
That's
So
one thing that's nice about our office. Most people don't have a center like we do at anywhere.
It's one of like 5 or something in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the comprehensiveness of it. We do everything from onboarding the student. It is not. I'm not making this up to tell you that there are soldiers in a tent in Afghanistan with a laptop trying to come to school. Certainly, they don't have a high school counselor like you did when you were 18 years old that's going to help you come into the university. So we get to do that part of it. Then we're going to make it. We aren't just worried about you coming here and bringing your GI Bill. We want to make sure you're academically successful. So we're going to have programming that is focused on making sure that you're successful. And I go through every single midterm grade, 6,000 by myself.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're going to have a discussion if we need to about what's going on with your grades or whatever. It's kind of like, so to say it's invasive, it is.
Getting called to the principal's office.
that's mom.
But listen, my population is used to that. They have a CO. They know that
accountability.
and they want that, and they just want to see, okay, this is what's going on. Can you help me this semester? And then we're going to make sure that they're employed, and that's where Chris comes in, and he's going to make sure that they or their family members. So when my husband came off back duty, he had never applied for a job before. He was just worried about where his next duty station was.
Wow.
And
You don't even think about that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That's-
You
I was
said that,
just
and
thinking
that floored me. I'm like,
I know,
Really?
right? So
Yeah.
and there's great anxiety about that, of
Sure.
course, right? Like you've had everything from your insurance, your paycheck, your purpose in life,
your socks,
right?
your
Everything,
Everything,
right?
yeah.
General Huber found him his job when he dropped his paperwork. My son, who needed a job at 16, was able to get a job through the center. So Chris does that. He works with the family members, and if you're looking for mentorship, internship, part-time or full-time, whatever you're looking for, and you could have been out. You could have been gone for 10 years, and then you're coming back in. So that's what we do. But then also, the part that I really like about the center is that we get to work across campus with the faculty and staff and make sure that they have an awareness of what military-connected students bring to the classroom, the wealth that they bring in. And then we push all of this out across the country. Nothing that we do in the center we consider is proprietary. It was either created through the funding from the state, through kind people like Mr. Daniels and others. So we don't own it. I didn't write a check for any of this. So we're going to share that across the nation and further, and often further.
That's wonderful.
And you don't have to be a student. So the misconception is you have to be an MTSU student. You don't, because we have people that are from California that'll reach out and say, hey, I heard about the center from a friend. I'm not there, but can you still help me? Absolutely. We'll still help you. We don't care where you are.
I got a text from Chris, I think it was yesterday, and he said, the job never stops, which we believe in. But he was at Publix yesterday, and he had gotten this woman a job at Publix. He'd sent her some information about a job, and she got it. And then he said, she's not even admitted to MTSU yet. I have to figure out what her holdup is. So that woman wasn't even a student, and we're glad to find him a job. And this is what I was saying. It gets back to you were saying how there can be like silos and you don't even know. But because part of our mission is to work with the whole community, we do get to know those things, and we get to connect people in. We have a great number of faculty and staff that are veterans, and so we constantly pull on them. I have a listserv. I probably send them an email every other day. And so we're pulling their resources, and we're hearing what they have, and we just try to connect our students' needs across the board.
Y'all sound like you have the most rewarding job ever.
We do.
Like, that's incredible.
I wrote that to my boss the other day. I report through through student affairs. So Dr. Sells is my boss. And General Huber, he reports through academic affairs, the two big muscle groups of a university. So most people don't even have a center, get alone a comprehensive one, and then to have the reach up both of those, across the board.
And it starts at the top, because I know Dr. McPhee is extremely proud of the center. I mean,
we couldn't do this without him.
It's one of the crown jewels in the university's cap.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those things that when he's out, he gets.
I know.
I love that guy.
He's a great promoter, too.
Oh my word, he gets excited and he's just like,
Right.
Anyway, he's awesome. I'm a big fan. But I mean, this is one of those maybe 4 or 5 things where he's like, we did this.
We did.
Right.
We served right there. You can see 1,437 military connected students this last year.
That's crazy.
But one of the things I'm so proud of is that we never shut our doors. So when other people say that they never shut our doors, maybe they had that one person that came in once a week. I mean, we never shut our doors. So we were there working. We did send 2 people that could work remotely home. One of them was a VA employee, and the VA made that decision. But we were there. We have a big enough space that we could be spread out to do that. And we raised our own money, and we've given out. That number has changed. It's gone up. It's gone up another $10,000. But we gave out $63,000 in money that we raised in micro grants to our students this year. So that says 52. We've given out another $10,000.
That's wonderful.
I like this one right here. 633 military documents evaluated for prior learning credit. So that's those life skills, those things where you go, okay, look, we know you've done this. There's no reason for you to sit in this class or this class or this class. So let's get to what's important. Right.
Exactly.
So everybody out there that's ever said, why am I ever going to use this? Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what this is.
Why. There you go.
Yeah.
It is. We do all of it in-house. So we review all of those documents. We do all of the residency. I think you pointed out that there was about $5.6 million in out-of-state funds waived.
That's huge.
Just, everything. A student can come to us, and we're going to make sure they're onboarded well, that they're going to get their GI Bill if they are using it. We have no requirement that a person have GI Bill. But if they do, we want to make sure it's done well. So we can do it all in-house, and there's a lot of it can be, like you said, 633 documents. That's a lot of documents to go through.
And I'm sure they're not exactly the easiest documents to pour
No,
through.
they are not.
We are not known for efficiency in our government.
Absolutely. So it's been a fun year, and we've done some things that were unique. We did an after action last week to kind of say, what did we learn during the pandemic that we want to do better, or we want to
wash your hands.
Never. Yeah, well, that's true. That is right.
And call people out when they don't wash their hands.
That's right.
Exactly.
Your hands are awfully dry after going to the restroom. What happened there?
Paper towels.
So we started a speaker series that we do once a month that we hadn't done previously. Our newsletter we do once a month that we hadn't done. Just lots of different ways to connect with our students. all of our events are live feed so that people can see. We're so glad to be back open, and we're doing our stole ceremony on the 27th of July in person. Yeah. But maybe someone just wants to watch it on from their house. They can now do that. So
well, I think what am I trying to say? System wide, I think that's one of the things that's come out of the pandemic is that accessibility. A lot of folks are like, maybe one day we'll do this. Maybe. Well, guess what? One day's here. So we're doing it.
Fast.
It came immediately, right? And so a lot of that stuff doesn't have to go away. I mean, just something as simple as like my Rotary Club, we do a Zoom call for our Rotary meetings once a week. And so if I'm on vacation or
you can jump
whatever,
in.
that's exactly it.
Right.
So that's awesome that you guys have fully embraced that and are continuing that.
And the good thing about that is, for instance, our roll call speaker series, we do that via Zoom because the outreach is so much different and so much better than, if we were to just do it on campus. Because like we said, not everyone is a student. So imagine the outreach that we have, if we say, hey, next month we're bringing in VA home loans. So if you have questions, join, come talk to us. And we allow them to ask questions and everything like that. So the great thing is the outreach is just, so much better.
Plus it archives it and you can pull it back up.
Yep. We upload it on Facebook.
Yeah. It may not be relevant now, but a year from now.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, didn't they, or ask you the question and go, hey, go watch this.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's easy for us to send out. And Lori, she sends it out in our newsletter as well. So
that's awesome.
We post it and say, hey, go take a look at this. And they work really, really great.
I want to swing back to something. So Arkansas, you went and served in the military, obviously, but we didn't hear that. So what branch did you serve in?
I was Army. So the weird thing is I wanted to be a Marine. And
don't say that out loud, man. You were going to catch so much crap about that.
I say it, man. I have to because I really wanted to be a Marine.
I don't know
I
this
could be a
story.
Marine. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I don't know any Marines. And I was like, maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe that's why. And I was like, it's not the easiest. So the Army was the easiest, and I hate to say that.
Oh, man. There are so many people watching right there, and they're like, see, told you.
I wanted to get away. I wanted to get away after school. I went to the University of Central Arkansas, and I was like, man, I want to go in the military. And I didn't know anyone that was a Marine, didn't know where to go. And Army was always around, like, hey, you want to join the Army?
Well,
I do actually.
Yeah.
I want to speak to that too. We have a program here in Tennessee for our Guard members that have y'all followed it? It's called Strong. It's the Tennessee Strong program.
I think I've seen because we get all those alerts.
Unbelievable. Like, to me, I think it is the best thing going educationally across the state, and it's coming out of the military. But it will reimburse, and at MTSU, we front the money for the students, so they're not out of pocket. But as soon as they've taken that oath, they are eligible to start their undergraduate, and now their master's being paid for.
Wow.
As long as they have a 2.0 per semester, which is not the highest bar. I mean, 2.0, right? So as long as you make a 2.0 each semester, and you're encouraged to make higher than that.
Yeah, of course.
And guess what? Just their initial review showed that our strong students had the highest GPA out of all the different, like if you're using Montgomery GI Bill or post 9/11, the strong kids seem to have the highest GPA on our initial.
But you said it's as soon as they take the oath, so they don't even have to have served yet.
Absolutely.
They don't even have to have gone to
AIT or anything like that.
Wow.
So to me, this thing is amazing, and we try really hard at MTSU to help implement it. It can be a little clunky because it's a reimbursement that we're trying to do up front. So we work really hard to get students aware of it and get it where they apply for it early enough to be.
So tell me if I'm wrong. I can see that potentially marrying very well with your ROTC program.
Oh, well, a lot of our ROTC students are using it. They also get, and we have a phenomenal ROTC.
You do?
They also get a stipend for an allowance for ROTC. Many of them are in the Guard, and so then they're drilling, so they're getting paid for that too.
Right.
So they could really kind of stack those benefits. Now, a lot of our Army want to go active duty, so this is for the Guard. So some of them are choosing to do it a little bit differently, but they can certainly get with Colonel McCarthy's, who's the professor of military science out there, and it's also for Air Guard as well. So
Excellent.
it's amazing, and so they can save their post 9/11 benefits for something else, that they can transfer those to their spouse or to their children. Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
So, true story. I was in ROTC for 2 semesters at MTSU.
What year is this?
This would have been in 98.
Okay.
Yep, 98. And I don't do heights. and
I'm seeing the rappel tower.
Yeah, right, yeah.
there was no tower. We
You're
rappelled off the
roof.
side of Forest Hall.
Yep, exactly.
And so 3 floors, right? And so I'm up there, and of course, the belay person, they're like, it doesn't matter. The size of the person doesn't matter. And I'm like, but she is tiny, and I'm not. And so I start backing my way over like this, and my knees lock up, and I went, whoop. And the back of my head, thankfully with that Kevlar helmet on, smacked the side of.
Wow.
And I didn't hear it. I mean, I heard it in my own head, but in my head it echoed throughout campus, right? Like, and I kind of see upside down. She's down there doing this, and they're like, "You're fine. Just get your feet under you." And I'm like, "She is not fine." And, anyway, yeah.
That is too funny.
So how'd you get down?
I got down. I mean, what do you do, right? You
Get your feet under
you walk
you.
your feet
Yeah.
back under, and you rappel down. But
So is that why you did not finish?
that is my one and only time rappelling, yes. And I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
I used to love going back into campus and seeing them on the wall or doing their course over there. I used to love that. I'd stop
Have y'all
watching.
been to campus lately?
Oh, yeah.
It is growing. It's
Oh,
so
I know.
beautiful. It's lots and lots of things
It does
happening.
not look the same as it did even 10 years ago.
No, oh my gosh, no.
We had
Lot of
a
growth.
gentleman that was coming to visit, and he was coming with his son, and they were going to come. They had gone to school at MTSU, and he and his wife both, and they wanted to bring their son. And he was using benefits. Understood this man was military, and that's what was going to. So I sent them a map. We have as you can imagine, we have a map we send out. It's visual from satellite, and then it walks you through, and then you can GPS, and then your point of contact. And I sent that to him, and he is lost like way over at the baseball fields and all. And I said, "Sir, did you get the map?" And he said, "Yeah, but I went to school there. I didn't need the map."
Oh, yeah, no.
And I said, "Did you graduate last semester? Because otherwise you're going to need the map. We have changed that much." And I was kind of giving him a hard time. I was like, "I sent this detailed map. You didn't even open it." He walks in, all of my soldiers jump up very, very quickly. "Hello, sir. Hello, sir." He was actually just been promoted to a general. I didn't know that. And I'm giving him a hard time. And,
That's
and I was
awesome.
like,
So sorry.
but then part of me was like, "Sir, you're a general. You graduated a long time ago, so you have not been on campus."
So he said, "There's mom."
There's right, absolutely, right? So, but we got him and his son in, and they're both doing good. So,
Well,
but
the
you're right.
problem at campus that I've run into, that the buildings are what they are. There's
Yeah.
always new buildings popping up. Man, they keep changing, at least in my mind, one-way streets.
Oh,
I'm like,
for sure.
what
Oh,
is
God.
that?
Circle now.
I can go. No, I can't go that
But
way.
they used to be,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
for sure.
I actually went back to MTSU for a class, a night class. I
Yep.
got 2-3 years ago. I was learning sign language.
Oh, neat.
And I hadn't been on campus in a while. And just what you said with the circles and
Yeah.
stuff, I went, "What the heck is this?" And just started going through it. I was like, "Man, it's been a minute since I've been
Right.
here. What is that building? Oh, that's new. Where's that come from?"
There's
You know,
a
it's
bridge over the road?
Yeah,
Right.
what is it? What am I going under?
Absolutely.
It took me a minute to find and even the building I was looking for was like right smack in your face in the middle. I'm like, "Where is it?"
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
There it
Okay.
The
It's
names
awesome.
on the outside need to be a lot bigger.
We're working on that too. For,
Or maybe
for the
some
dean.
bat signals for it,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Where it
That's right.
puts them up in the sky.
And I think they've given us way too much credit with the roundabouts, like the fact that they think we know how to do that. We do not know how to do
Right,
that.
yeah.
They invented signs for those. There's like this, and then the
Yeah, those
little thing over
squiggly
here,
thing
and
and
I'm
all
like,
that stuff. And
That's where you need the sign language.
yeah, I know, right? Okay. Oh, I know what that means. Go this. Okay. But yeah, the people people trying to merge on as you're coming around, and everybody stops and say, "You keep going. It's okay."
I always go back to European vacation. Chevy Chase. Look, kids,
yeah.
Big Ben, Parliament.
Oh,
Look, kids,
And they're
Big
just-
Ben, Parliament.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love for y'all to come by and visit the center. I think you stopped in the other day.
I did.
And did they give you a tour, or were you just kind of?
I have toured it before.
Okay.
Now
That's
it's
right.
been a little bit. But
Right. Now, so when you came for that opening, that we were pretty much maxed out on space by the time we opened it, which was
Yes.
immediately. And
And I've been back in a couple times since then.
It's
but-
beautiful, and we put it in upstairs where Chris is. Chris is the assistant director, and he manages the transition center. So
Wait. There's an upstairs now?
I know.
Okay, so I have not
That's
seen
right.
that.
Absolutely. It looks pretty
316.
similar. He manages this kind of people coming in. So he has an employee, the transition manager. All of our students are given a person that's going to help onboard them, someone that can just guide them through this process, which is complicated. And all of our students are required to be academically advised every semester if they're using DOD or VA benefits, which is around 800 plus students. The only other group that's required to do this the whole time through are athletes, and there's only about 400 of them. So this is a huge financial commitment the university has made. I mean, just calculating, I think it's got to be, an advisor meeting with these students 3 times at minimum a semester is amazing that MTSU has done that. But our students are going to get through their program. They're not going to take classes they don't need. They're going to be trained on their classes are going to be spread out correctly so that they get their full benefits the whole time, which is important because our students can be getting around $2,000 a month in housing if it's done right.
Wow.
And if right? So we can't mess that up to where they're not taking a full load this semester because because my students are going to want to come in and take 21 hours from the beginning. That's just who they are. So then they don't have enough at the end to get them to full time, and that's costing them thousands of dollars. So MTSU's made sure that they're going to have someone that's going to walk them through this process from the very beginning. So literally, this is my name. Come into my office or Zoom with me. I'm going to make sure you're through correctly. Do all that residency. Do all of those paperwork. Chris supervises that person, but then he's also tasked with moving the person out. So while that person's moving them in, Chris, as the employment person, is moving them out. So it's the transition.
I want to hear more about that. So the employment thing, I mean, that's huge. I mean, MTSU boasts, like with concrete industry, for example, 100% job placement, all that kind of stuff.
There's a new building going up for that.
Right.
Too.
As a matter of fact, yeah. And I mean, that's impressive, right? So tell me about y'all's track record and how you go about doing the job placement, that kind of thing.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Miller, but was Shane Smith the first transition manager? Not transition manager, but employee search agent?
Yep.
Okay. So, Shane Smith, he was Army as well. Shane was in the program, and he just made it to the point where if you needed assistance, if you needed a job, if you needed help with resumes, cover letter, whatever it was that you needed help with, feel free to come in or email us, or Zoom wasn't around then, but reach out to us and then we'll help you. So Shane did such a great job. He left and went to another organization, but he still helps out. Well, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, Chris, why don't you come talk to me?" And when I did, so I was already helping out the center at that time anyway. I was at the MT1 stop, and I would just help out, and he brought me in and kind of showed me the ropes. Well, one of the key things they want to do is ensure that no matter what you're going through in life, whether you are struggling or whether you're on top of, whether you are at your best right now, they want to make sure that you can either find employment or find something different. Yeah. So that actually came from General Huber. So like she said, General Huber kind of started with helping people out, hey, do you need help? Do you need a job? Do you need help with the resume, cover letter, anything like that? And Shane took it over, and now it's handed to me. And one of the things that I want to make sure is that I don't really care about numbers. My goal is if someone reaches out to me, I want to make sure that I get back with them and, hey, what do we need? And there's quite a few different companies that are, always in our corner. So, for instance, we have Waffle House that's always there. We have Amazon, and then a ton of other companies as well that reach out to us and just say, "Hey, Chris, I have these positions. Do you mind sending them out to students?" Or if I know someone's looking, I'll say, "Hey, can I send you their resume and cover letter directly versus them, going to a website and applying?" So we try to be a little more direct. And the experience has been great because Shane said, I called him one day and said, "Hey, man, what do you recommend, doing for this? This particular person has an interest in this company." He said, "Just pick up the phone and call." And I didn't know that was a possibility. I said, "Wait, I can just call their HR?" He just called them. And it worked.
There you go. You're like, whoa, this is great.
We want to be able to get them, whether it's banking, healthcare, whatever their field is, we need to get them to the first interview. And so if they don't do well, we need to figure out why you aren't doing well, and we'll work with you on it.
And then you pull them in, coach,
right.
and try again.
All of our partners that Chris was talking about, we have I mean, I feel like we're closer to 100 partners now that they will give us an interview. And so if we call up there and we say we want this person in, they're going to have at least that first interview.
Yeah, I would imagine you have a pretty good
Right.
success rate,
Right.
especially with your direct contact. I mean, that goes a long way too. But I mean, I know if that was me, I'd be like, come on
absolutely.
in, let's go.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are opening the door. They've still got to do everything else.
Yes.
But you're just opening that door for them and say, okay, go give it a shot.
At that stole ceremony that's on the 27th, and I hope y'all will come out. It's going to be at Ingram. I'll send you an invite on it. Actually, if anybody and I'll send y'all an invite, but anybody wants one, if they go to our website, mtsu.edu/military, there's a place to just sign up for news. And they'll get if they put whatever email they want in there, they'll get anytime we have an event, they'll get that email.
Excellent.
But at that stole ceremony, we tell the students, like, listen, your responsibility is not over with. And you're now you're the inside guy at these employers. If you want your employment culture to be one that recognizes and appreciates veterans, then you better hire more veterans. So every time there's a job opening, we want you to send us that job opening, and we'll scrub it against our students. We can't find you somebody, then Chris will take it down. His office is right next to the Career Center. He'll run over and take it over. And he partners a lot with our Career Center.
Yeah, the Career Center is, of course, they're a much larger center. I'm one person. There may be 10 people. So, working closely with them, plus they have handshakes. So they have a website. So if someone sends me, a job, first I want to see, hey, do we have a veteran, a spouse, or a dependent or someone that would like to apply for this? If not, then we're going to blast it out to the entire campus.
There you go.
So we want to get you help no matter, who
It's
you are.
it's a win for that employer no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
So how would somebody get a job to you? We want to make sure we put that in our comments. So we'll do that. So make sure we get that information if it's an email or whatever.
Yeah, they can email it directly to me. They can email it to Dr. Miller, or just email it to the center. For instance, my information may not be public or just may not be out there, but Dr. Miller is well known. Or they can just go to the website and just pull up the email and say, hey, just let me send it to the center and say, I'm with Publix and I need 5 people. For an example, Burger King.
And these are more part-time jobs, although some of them are managerial. But I mean, our positions are all over the place.
Well, I'm even thinking small business folks here
Yes.
in Murfreesboro that they need one person, but it's got to be.
Oh yeah, we had one the other day
Yes.
for a bank wanted. Did they have 2 positions? They
had 2, but they just wanted. They said, "Hey, send us a veteran." And before everyone finished applying, we got them.
There you go.
So they
Great.
pulled the person
But
immediately.
if they send it to any of these places, because Chris is our employment, if they send it to me or him or the center's website, it's always going to be fed through to him. And then what he'll want to do is reach out and get those people in the small business owner, let them tour the center and see this is. We want to build more than just send you one veteran.
Absolutely.
We want to have something more. Additionally, Chris runs a program every Wednesday. Now that we're back open for the public to come in, we stayed open, but the public didn't want to come see us. Businesses can table there at the center and meet our veterans and start doing job things there. So they could sign up for, to come on a Wednesday and put a table out at the center.
That's wonderful.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, to piggyback, Amazon is actually coming on August the 4th. What they want to do is they just want to kind of see the building and where are we going, where we're going to set up.
Yeah.
And
They're doing their
ready.
reconnaissance. Yeah, they're doing
they're
it for
ready.
sure. But now we have 2 full-time VA employees that work for us. One's on the benefits, one's on health care. Also, VA sends a person they send it every Wednesday, but every other week it's just general questions about benefits. Whether you have, it could be housing or it could just be about whatever it is that you have questions about, trying to get your comp and pen done. We handle all that in the office. So what we're doing is the employers are coming on Wednesday. The students are coming on Wednesdays to meet with the different VA benefits folks that, aside from our 2 people, they want to meet with somebody else. For instance, my father-in-law, 85, lost his hearing on a carrier in 1959. Took us that long to get him in, but he got his hearing aids through the VA, and now he's getting a $250 compensation a month just amazing through the center.
Wow.
And that's someone in the community. I mean, we would do that for
And
anybody.
he's probably said, okay, yeah, we can take these out. I don't actually want to hear any of this stuff.
Oh yeah, he seems to forget them at mass every week, and there's some other times that we're like, we know he's not listening to us. But so what we're doing is we'll get they're coming to see the VA, but we're set up the businesses on the same day so that they can, while there's a lot more traffic in the center, they can be doing both of those things. And I do want to share, if anybody has, they can call me at any time. My email's on the website, our direct numbers are on there. If they have VA needs and they're in this community, contact us and we will get them directly in, whether it's the health side or the benefit side. And it's much easier to sit in our office and drink our coffee, and you're going to maybe wait a few minutes, but you'll get directly to the right people.
That's
We
awesome.
also do legal as well.
That's one of the points I just saw in here. Actually, I wanted to ask you about it. With everything you guys doing, and I see the second one right here, mental health counseling.
Yeah.
'Cause that
Full
comes
time.
up quite a bit.
And she was there in the center the entire time. And, whatever kind of counseling that you would be doing over at the VA, you could do there in her office.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned legal
Yeah.
advice. And
That was the next one right there.
Yeah, we work with our Rutherford and Cannon counties bar association to do that, and that turned out to be one of the things from the pandemic that worked really well. Instead of doing a legal workshop one day a year, we did it over a week, and so it was a little bit easier. Additionally, if someone has legal, even if it's not during that time, we would always connect them to one of our partners and help them out. Our mission is to make sure that anything that would stop you from being academically successful, that we take care of. So whether Chris has run financial aid workshops, whatever is going to, so you might not think, how is this? This is a legal clinic. Well, I had a student one time, I called him in because of his grades. I said, you're not even going to class. And why are you? He didn't want to tell me. Finally, he told me he had been in jail. So so he was not in class. It was, a mix up, but he needed a lawyer.
Yeah.
So we could get that. I mean, if it's going to stop you from being academically successful, we're going to attend to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that.
Guys, I cannot say how much I appreciate everything that you guys are doing and the center's doing. And I walked in the other day.
Yeah.
Is it Emily? Was that her name?
Well, we used to have an Emily, but I think you saw Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Maybe it was Elizabeth. I thought it said Emily, but maybe not, because it was a weird spelling, Lemilea or something. Am I making that up?
I think that's somewhere else. But we do have Elizabeth. She had long blonde hair,
I don't
And
know. She was very pleasant.
We did have an Emily though,
but not spelled like that. She's been gone for a couple of years. I think
Hey,
that,
never mind. I'm totally hallucinating. But anyway, I did walk in, and the activity level in the space, it was. I mean, there were people that were working, they were doing.
And this is during this slower time.
No, that's what I'm getting at. It was awesome.
I'm
Like
telling
the
you,
energy in there was fantastic.
We are so ready for that to be back. On these VA Wednesdays, right before we were before the university closed down and the world closed down, people were bringing they would bring a bus of their employees. So T-Mobile had loaded up all of their veterans, and they were bringing them to the center. The FBI sends the people. My husband works at Barrett. They have a lot of veterans. They know that they can use any of our resources here. And it's just that's what companies would just send everybody, to the center to whatever you need a home loan, you need whatever. They'll be the place that connects you.
That's so awesome.
That's wonderful.
And so
awesome.
I hope that the community really hears that even if they don't have jobs to offer us, or even if they didn't have something, they can still assist by sending their employees to us, as well as attending our events. That we love that kind of stuff. We're very welcome.
I love it. Well, good job for you guys. Thank you for all that you do. We'll put some links and stuff in the comments about the center and all of that.
We do have, for the two of you, a coin. Are you familiar with the military coin?
I actually am. Yeah.
Okay, so we have.
Look
some-
at this.
I know.
we
have
come
it.
with gifts.
I had no
you have to do
idea.
that.
This is awesome.
Okay, if I can find them. Okay, Chris, you want to give this one over here?
So do you know the tradition?
I don't. No.
All right. So I'll let Dr. Miller explain the coin,
Well,
but we have to stand.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
and I'm going to give this one
So
to you.
stand.
Whoop. Well, there we go.
There you go.
Here we
So
go.
do
Thank
this.
you very much. Now, if we catch you at a restaurant and you don't have it on, then you're going to have to purchase the round. So that's
Oh, wow.
that's the
Okay.
situation.
Okay.
And if you have it and you have multiple, it's going to go by who has the highest ranking. So you probably do want to get with General Huber. and see
Yeah,
if you
right.
can get a 3-star coin from him, so
Oh,
that
I will
his
be hitting him up
That
shortly.
is
That's
so
right.
cool.
So, I mean, if I have the highest rank, y'all buy the round?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm
General
saying.
Huber, I'm coming for you.
There we go. So he'll be at the he leads all of these events. I have to say he is so active in these things. But he will be at the Stoll ceremony on the 27th, and he'll have coins. So I'm just saying you might
Yeah.
want to be there.
Now, you have to excuse me with I'm a little naive on this one. Is this an MTSU thing only? Because I have 2 cousins that are pretty high ranking. And,
No, you can grab
Really?
their coins. See if they'll
okay,
if they'll share
they're
with
actually
you.
in Delta Force.
Oh,
And
okay.
so-
I'm
but
saying get
for
the
like 20 years now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank y'all for your service too.
Oh shoot, that's
I will share. This is the dog tags. That was our original logo, and then when Mr. Daniels, when we changed the name, we wanted to put the fiddle on it, and I thought, we should put the gold fiddle. And David Corlew, his manager, said, Hillary, really put the fiddle would be great because it's MT with the dog tags, and then we were going to add the fiddle. He said, but put a flag fiddle on it, not a gold one, because Mr. Daniels always considers his legacy to be with the U.S. military and not with the devil went down to Georgia. So
There you go.
we did it. And
That's
you know what?
kinda
He
awesome.
sent us a wrapped fiddle all signed. It's in a shadow box.
You know what you could do is when you print it, you have the flag fiddle.
Yeah.
And then you can, like when they paint it, they can do an overlay of gold.
That is
over
really
it,
neat.
So it's like flag.
It come
with-
in.
nice.
That would be pretty neat. I like that idea. So.
I need that
Thank you
coin
for
when you
this
make
made
that.
my day. Thank you
There
very
you
much.
go.
This is so
All
Me
right.
cool.
too. This is awesome.
This is neat. I love
There you
this.
go.
So what we need to do is we need to link you with General Huber now because
Yeah.
once he comes on the show and you get that 3-star, I'm not
Then-
sure you're gonna. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that's-
many people are gonna be
I was gonna say,
there.
that's tough to beat.
That's,
That's
right.
tough to
But
beat.
see, if you took that one to your family, then you might be able to win out there.
Oh, that'd be fun.
very good. So,
Yeah.
I have
Well,
two
and I will
cousins,
tell
I'm
you,
like, come out and show you. No, just kidding.
General Huber's awesome anyway. So,
He is.
you don't have to
So
bring us a
neat.
coin, but he's awesome. And,
Agreed.
I love talking
Still
to
want
him.
it though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean,
the goals.
yes, of course.
Right.
But
Go for it.
well, gentlemen, thank you for having us.
thank
No,
you
thanks
so
for coming
much.
very much,
If you
yes.
have any questions out there, if you're a veteran in need, if you have family members that are veterans in need, this is a good place to start.
And it's mtsu.edu/military, right?
That's right.
Okay, got it.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
you.
coming.
Thanks for
Appreciate
watching.
it. See y'all.